What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Ladyhawke and her 2008 self-titled album. Thank you again to Phil, as well as to Mark and others who have been following this journey. The next track in the playlist is Back of the Van. So I don't know, I feel like this could go different ways, but my first thought when I looked at it is that classic bumper sticker and stereotype, when this van is a rockin', don't come a knockin'. So yes, the back of the van is perhaps a location where amorous couples might go to express their physical feelings for each other. It could of course just be a location for a singular person and or activity, pondering your life or, passing time in some other manner. Vans are also of course like vehicles with fewer windows, or they're perhaps more of a mystery than other vehicles. I feel like I'm stretching a bit there, but definitely the idea of vans being used, let's say, as like a getaway vehicle or something, which I don't imagine that'll have anything to do with the song, but that did also come to mind. But yes, my overriding hypothesis, or rather speculation, is that this could be a place where people are becoming intimate, expressing their feelings for each other in a more immediate manner. But even then, I would expect it to be part of some larger narrative or, scene painting. So let's see what I can pick up on a first hearing. This is Ladyhawke, the track is Back of the Van, and it's from her 2008 self-titled album. like the sonic blend of that one. It's another one that definitely has some throwback 80s vibes. Secondarily, I enjoy the mixture of the keyboard sounds with that guitar, and especially the bass. Now, I don't know, maybe it was a synth bass, but it really did sound like a guitar bass, and it was really rapidly pulsing away. I definitely noticed it, especially like from the middle of the song to the end. But yeah, I also enjoy the vocals, and I think, in the end of the chorus, there's like an echo effect, and I think even in the verses, there was maybe like an effect on the vocals. But yeah, okay, so first I'm thinking, oh, it really is, they're holding hands and they're, making eyes at each other, and I think other things as well in the back of this van. So it does feel like it's about intimacy and it's about their feelings, and she's saying, you set me on fire. And then as the song goes along, it's like, oh, when I'm alone, I'm worried about you leaving. And then when you're far away, I know you're leaving. And it's like, oh, shoot. So maybe it's like there's a contrast being indicated here that, when they're close, she feels like she is set on fire by the passion, by the love, or the like intimacy of this other person. But then when this other person is not in her presence, it's like the worries, the insecurities, or maybe even the, fatalism, or this idea that it's almost like already over, like seems to set in. And so then I was imagining her in the back of the van by herself, sitting in the dark. And so, yeah, by the end of the song, it felt like maybe it's more complicated, certainly in the mind of the narrator, if not in practice between the two people, because maybe the other person is not intending on leaving, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the narrator feels perfectly comfortable. So yeah, by the end I was less sure of exactly where they are emotionally, even if they do have passionate and or intimate times in the back of the van. Nevertheless, again, I enjoy the kind of throwback nostalgic feel of the track, and I especially liked, it sort of started and the keyboard was there, and then it really kind of kicked into gear, and again, it just felt like a vintage kind of 80s synth pop track or synth rock track. So yeah, ultimately another cool one from this album. Once again, thank you to Phil for providing this, as well as Mark for offering commentary. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time. Peace.